So the kit system and its output is one of the most heavily criticized parts of Splatoon 3, and today I'm just going to make it simple. I'm going to cover what kits are and why they matter, the problems with the system, and what I personally think should replace it. Subscribe if you enjoy, and let's get started. So first off, why do kits matter, and what is the job of a weapon kit? How important is the sub and special on a weapon that makes it good? A weapon kit is responsible for creating a playstyle for a weapon. It gives you new tools that can either complement a weapon's strengths, cover its weaknesses, or provide new options. For example, Burst Bomb complements Stamper's damage combos, enhancing a strength. Torpedo gives Rapid Deco a way to kill fast, covering a weakness, and Beacon gives Tent a way to give jumps to its teammates more consistently, giving it new things to do. Regardless of if you're competitive or casual in this game, this is part of why a kit matters to everyone. The second factor to a kit is its playstyle. Just to name an example, in Splatoon 2 most rapid kits had a more supportive playstyle, like Rapid Pro Deco having a wall to keep yourself alive, and armor to help chain to your teammates, creating a playstyle of consistent, long-range chip. The Kensa Rapid then came around with a much more aggressive kit, allowing more individual power with torpedo combos and playmaking with the baller to keep you alive, but much less value at a distance. This kit fundamentally changed how Rapid plays, in a way that got me personally into the weapon, and I think this matters for all players. Now, the third factor is the only time I think the design of kits differs from casual and competitive. Competitive players should be wanting strong kits, while casuals want fun kits. Now, a strong kit is one that has tools that are powerful that also complement the weapon. In this case, Splash's Burst Bomb and Crab are both powerful subs and specials that expand the weapon's flexibility between support and aggression, including having good synergy within itself. A fun casual kit doesn't have to do this. For an example of a kit that I think is really fun casually, the Vanilla Sploosh. This kit sucks at covering any actual flaws the weapon needs, and leans too heavily into fast movement and quick short-range kill times with Curling Bomb and Stamp, which doesn't help it at all in competitive. However, I think that kit's really fun to play, so people are okay with it. There are very rare times a kit can do both of these, by the way, such as New Squiffer's Zipcaster, which at a competitive level provides much needed angles and continuation, while casually lets you simulate becoming a trickshot god. However, it's really hard to make this kind of kit that does both. All of these combined are the goal of kit design to me, along with, of course, balancing the game around whatever options we allow. The issue is that I think the kit system just fails at this. Competitively is more obvious. Most kits in the game are just kind of half strong, like having one piece that work, or having synergy but not a lot of power. Meaning that the few weapons that actually get real kits in this game get a huge advantage, which means that for weapons that don't have a kit, they either have to work harder or are just flat out worse, due to no faults of the main weapon at times. Meanwhile, for more casual orientated kits, I do still think there's a lot of room to improve for making them more enjoyable. Obviously, this is a lot more subjective in this case, but in my opinion, I think when you're going for a full-on casual kit, you're really trying to lean into something more gimmicky. Give some really unique or whack playstyles that you would never really see any other time. But to me, most of these kits come out just as half-baked. There are a lot of combos that don't really complement a weapon at all, such as Beacon being placed on short-range weapons that struggle to set them up. One or two of these could be fun, but they never really leaned into it, outside of one example. To me, I think the Crack-On Roller is a fun casual kit because the Kraken complements this rat running around the map and placing beacon style. But how does Neo Sploosh or Dapple work for that in fun or competitive? They don't to me, so they just kind of fall flat. That's why I think that many of these kits are half-baked to the point of feeling like a lottery when something gets it right. Obviously, not every kit can be perfect, and expecting the devs to get a super fun casual or competitive kit every single time is completely unrealistic, don't get me wrong. So it's clear you want multiple kits for this kind of thing. That way you can cater to both player bases, have kits that cover multiple playstyles, and just have a bit more margin for error. That's why kit output and variety matters, and this is another thing where I think most people agree they've failed. So, obviously the output of kits isn't great. I think pretty much everyone has agreed with that by this point. Splatoon has never even had third kits on every weapon before in either previous game, and I don't know how likely we are to get it now. So for most weapons, it makes getting bad kit luck twice just a game over. More kits means more chances, more options, more ideas to try, and the kit output hurts things a lot. Obviously, kits require time to balance and design, but at some level this process is also slapping a sub and special on the weapon. This low output time is especially annoying when it's for a reference kit. We've had a ton of these that are just basically trying to be the same kit as a previous game, therefore taking a lot less work to test anyway. If you're an early Splatoon player, like most people are since the game sold so well in the first 3 months, you're waiting a long time to get more options and ways to play the game. In fact, Splatoon 3's pacing is so slow that a year and a half later into Splatoon 2, we were already on third kits, whereas in this game, we don't even have second kits for every weapon yet. In fact, probably the best example of how slow this is the Bamboozler. At the current rate we're at, if Bamboo does get added in the next season, Bamboo players will have had a shorter wait waiting for Bamboo Mach 3, one of the last DLC weapons in Splatoon 2, than they will for their second kit in this game. That's kind of crazy. And Splatoon 2 isn't exactly the pinnacle of kit pacing either. In fact, it's only slightly better than Splatoon 3's was in the early seasons. To me, it makes it crazy that kit output slowed down at all. We started with 10 alternate kits in Season 1, and have had an absolute lowest output of 7 to 8 kits, not counting the brand new weapons, of course, because I'm not counting them in Splatoon 2 either. It just feels miserable to me to have kits come out at such a slow pace, and it makes it so that when some do end up bad, it feels a lot worse. But there's another issue that makes it feel so much worse in Splatoon 3, a completely different factor, which is every game we get in, this problem of kits gets even worse. Here's a sub-weapon chart made by Kiver that shows the amount of subs on any weapon right now, just to give an example. Oddly enough, we only have 6 torpedo and fizzy weapons, subs that were barely introduced on any weapons in Splatoon 2, and Line Marker, the brand new sub-weapon for the game, is only on 7. Meanwhile, we have other subs that are on 10 and 9 weapons respectively. It feels really odd that there's this much of a split in general, but especially weird that the 3 newest subs in the series are some of the least available ones to be able to pick. And this brings me to my next point. This system's only going to be worse as we go on. This, I think, is more obvious to people though. Splatoon 3 currently has 14 subs and 19 specials. For reference, Splatoon 1, the game where this kit system originally started from, had 10 subs and 7 specials, which made it a lot easier to have a good portion of the combinations and made it a lot easier to get the favorite special you hope for on your weapon. But when comparing the amount of unique sub and special combinations total from Splatoon 1 to 3, look how much larger it is now. So many cool combinations of sub and specials that we probably won't ever get to see. As more options get added, the more kits we need to make it worth it. Third kits for every weapon is a dream, but that might not even be enough for this game, let alone future Splatoon games which will have inevitably more main, subs, and specials attached to them. So to me, it's clear that this system needs to go. So what's the solution? Let's talk about the obvious idea first. Fully custom kits. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but obviously custom kits have some possibilities. Casually, it's just straight up an upgrade. You get infinite combinations and fun to try out, and even for comp players, that gives some cool experimentation. Yeah, if it happened today, people would probably still spam stuff like double Zuka Cooler all the time, but we're doing that anyway, so at least in this case we get more weapons than Pencil Shot and Squeezer that are going to be picked with them. No weapon will be held back by a bad kit, and no fun playstyle you want will be unable to happen with custom kits. And the only truly broken option right now is Bucket with the Burst Bomb. You can even keep the brands as unlockable weapon skins, which would of course be a nice boost to everyone to have more customization in this game. Obviously though, custom kits aren't perfect. For one, kits are a big part of the update cycle, and while in theory it could allow the devs to put more time into other features, in reality it might just be less stuff in the updates without kits. It's also of course harder to balance, though you do get more data on what's picked. I've done an entire video on custom kits versus regular kits before Splatoon 3 came out, so if you want to know more about my opinion and more in-depth on the topic, I would recommend checking it out. For now, I stand by that I think custom kits are better than what we have now. However, I think many people want something different. So let's wrap this up by talking about what, in my opinion, is the best middle ground solution I've seen so far. Here's what I would want, and I've seen a few other people talk about this as well. Each weapon gets assigned, let's say, 3 subs and 3 specials at first. You can mix and match any of the subs and specials your weapon has to create weapon kits. As DLC comes out, weapons will get their 4th and 5th specials that they're able to customize. So this means, for example, in Fresh Season, a weapon could unlock the ability to equip a suction bomb or a point sensor, and this also means if we add new subs and specials, that's how you could add them. Kraken comes out, and Kraken is now the 4th special you can equip on these 10 weapons. This makes it a lot easier to add way more stuff than we could with the kit system, since we can put it on way more weapons. And this could continue until everything has 5 at the end of the game's life. This can also keep hype for new options, since you're still curious what new things you'll be able to get. And while of course this will still limit certain combinations that could never happen, being able to mix and match subs and specials would still allow a lot of theory crafting, while allowing the devs to have enough tools to be able to keep the balance in. Maybe they just don't want Burst Bomb on a bucket. Then you don't have to worry about it like you would with fully custom kits. And if they wanted to try something more experimental like Dart on Bucket, they could put it on the weapon, and anyone who would be upset about not having a bomb on it will be fine, because one of the options can just be a bomb and you can just always pick that one, while those who have fun with the Dart can use the Dart. You could even make the point points for special work by having each weapon start at a default, say range 190p as a low painting weapon, and based on whatever special you equip, it can be plus or minus 10. It's a good way to have a compromise between the points for special system on weapons and on the specials themselves from Splatoon 2 to 3 versus 1. Now look, that system isn't perfect either. Weapons could still get really unlucky, and some dream combos will never happen. But to me, it makes it far more likely, leaves room for customization, and still allows control while allowing brands to still be weapon skins you would be able to use. You can even say that the subs a weapon got were picked out by a brand. Maybe Tenatech is the reason Strike is on Splattershot, for example. This is the system that I would like to see adopted for Splatoon 4. I think the current one we have is old and outdated, and whether we get third kits or not, so by Splatoon 4, I think it's time for a replacement. Again, no replacement is perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect. A new system just has to be better than what we have right now, which I think is very achievable. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.